Guys, how's everybody doing? So I got a restring to do today. It's a Fender Stratocaster, and just going to do a regular setup on it. Made in Mexico, N8, 1998. So it's kind of an older one. The neck plate here is kind of bent. I think it was over tightened. Somebody really snugged those bolts down, and so we're going to put a different neck plate on it and some new strings. So let's get started. Okay, so right here you can see how it actually did a lot of damage. Honestly, I've never seen one that has been screwed down that tight where it would mess it up like that. A lot of guitars, if they're made out of basswood, the body's a basswood body, then you put one of these little plastic shims. Straight from the factory, it would come with a shim like that. And then that kind of protects the body, you know, in case somebody over tightens the back plate there. But this guitar didn't have one. But that's the reason that they have these plastic spacers right there. That is to protect the body from doing something like this if your body is made out of basswood. I don't know if this is, being 1998 Mexico, this is probably alder, or maybe it's ash. But let's put that new plate on. Where is that thing? Here it is. Okay, here's what our customer brought in with him. Fender genuine parts. With new screws. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at these new screws. We're going to match them up with the old screws, and they look identical, which is good. Now I haven't moved the neck. It's still sitting right in the same spot. The screws should go right straight in. Nice and easy. Okay, there it is. It's still kind of bending because that's got that body is so compressed. The brand new one's going to do the same thing. Today's string choice. Okay, this guy picked out a set of D'Addario 10 through 46, regular light gauge, bright tone, round. Lots of good stuff. Alright. I'm going to cut this pack of strings open. Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate, but this plastic piece probably, I know the guitar didn't come with it, but I probably should have used this and would have kept it from sinking down in there and bending and looking all weird, because his old one, this new one that I just put on, and I barely snugged that thing, it still looks almost just as bad, so I kind of feel bad about that. But what are you going to do? Okay, so pull the string all the way through. Bring it up here. One, two. Cut it off. Run the string down in the end of the tuner. Bend it over. tighten it up. There we go. Okay, let me adjust some of these saddles a little bit here. The B string looks really high, so I'm going to bring that down a little. Okay. Now let's do a tuner on it and tune this thing up a little bit. Okay, then now to stretch the strings out a little bit, put your hand down here to protect the net. Because there's been times where I pulled on a string and I actually broke the nut by pulling the string this direction. So put your hand here, protect the nut, run through here a couple of times, stretch this thing out. Be a little bit more timid on the higher strings because you can snap them. I know this stuff because I've done it. Really nice guitar. Let's do it up on the knee. Yeah, so for the age of this guitar, it is just in beautiful condition, and I think I know why it stayed in such good condition. Let me show you something. Yeah, so I think this has a lot to do with why this guitar is in such great condition. It's got a beautiful Fender case right here. It lives down in here. He's got all kinds of really good F1 oil and Guitar One cleaning products and everything, Music Nomad. And I will even take his old neck plate and his screws and put them down in here. And so you go. He takes really good care of his gear. And in the guitar, it shows. Really nice. Let's move on to the next guitar. Alright, in the guitar vault, it's in a Gibson case, but what we have here is a Les Paul, Epiphone Les Paul. Beautiful. You can smell the nitro finish coming off of it. Trapezoid inlays, 59 Les Paul Epiphone version in a hard shell Gibson case. If you're in the Phoenix area, come and drop in the shop and ask to see this thing. I keep it in the case. I don't hang this one on the wall. I don't let the high school kids next door play it. This one stays in its case. It is just in mint condition and it is available. Okay guys, restring on this one today. This is a customer's guitar. So I'm going to cover the serial number for him. But it's a Fender Strat USA S9. So 1979 on this one. And it needs a new set of strings, and it needs a basic setup. We got a couple of frets that aren't that are kind of falling apart on him here. The saddles are slammed as far down as they could go. Let's do some work to this thing. See if we can get it to play better. I'm thinking that there's a shim in the neck that might be a little too big. So we're going to pull the neck off of it. And we're going to try to maybe level some of these frets a little bit. Level and re-crown. So let's see if we can fix this thing up some. Yeah, so the old 3-bolt neck plate micro tilt function. Let's take a look over. Look at the size of that. Okay. Okay, let's see if there's been a shim underneath there. Okay. The neck looks good. The date matches up nicely. Okay, I'm not going to touch that. So there is a micro tilt function on this guitar. And so there's not a shim under it because it's a micro tilt. So we're going to put this back together. Well, you know what? Let's work on the neck a little bit before we put that back on here. Let's see what we can do here. Okay. Easy now. Okay, so with no string tension, it's got a little tiny bit of back bow to it. It's definitely not perfect because I can see there's a little bit of, it kind of sinks down and it's kind of low in this neighborhood and then it gets low up here. Alright, so looking closely at these frets, you can see that there is a ton of wear on these things. And in my opinion now, it's due for a refret because I can't really level and crown those. But I'm going to take my crowning file and try to, some of them are kind of filed kind of flat. So I'm going to see if I can at least take my crowning file to them and put more of a nice little crown more of a peak to the top of each fret. So let's see what happens here. I got my StewMac narrow medium file. It's hardly biting at all. There's not enough fret here. It's helping though. Nothing left of that one. Yep, these are too far gone. My file is just sort of running along the wood on each side of the fret. Okay, so I did see a little bit of improvement on some of these higher frets. But some of these low frets that are every string, you can see a giant wear mark in every one. I'm going to tell my customer I think it needs a refret. And I have there's a local guy that does them, and I highly recommend the guy to a lot of people. So I don't do refrets here at my store. But I know a guy, so for any of you guys watching, if you need a refret, let me know. Okay, but now I am going to take my fret guard and some 1000 grit sandpaper, and I'm going to go over these frets and just try to smooth them out a little bit and get rid of some of my tooling marks that I just put in there. Okay, so as you can see right here, in need of a fret job, but some of these higher frets that I just kind of went over, they're looking better. So just going to try to get it to be a playable guitar for the guy, and again, highly recommend that he gets a fret job on it. Let's put it back together. Let's use a screwdriver here. Snap these down. Okay. Let's go ahead and let me take the back panel off. This guitar started off being white, and it was probably played in a lot of smoky bars. Guitars don't fade out like they used to because there's no smoking in the bars. But if you played 2 or 3 hours a week, that meant that your guitar was in 8 to maybe 12 hours of smoke a week, and it really made the color of the guitar fade. Well, okay, so I'm seeing the white, I'm seeing the yellow, and then the current color. So imagine the white was the primer, and then this is the actual color of the guitar was this pale yellow color. Now it's really turned pale, but super cool. But you know, back in the 70s when your guitar looked like this, people weren't thinking it was all that cool. They were just thinking that it was old and beat up and time to get a new one. So I'm going to hit this with a little of my Dunlap 65. And man, this neck with this 3-bolt plate on here, That neck is like, it's not very secure at all. It's barely hanging on there. Eddie Van Halen would throw more bolts in it for sure. The pickups are down nice and low. But some things you gotta just leave alone, because this guy's a real guitar player. He's in a band, and he put his pickups at that height for a certain reason. And it's not me to come and change everything around so much, because he's probably the way he strums or something. He wants his pickups to be that low. And there's also that argument about if you lower your pickup, you just turn your amp up louder. And a lot of guys love it that it sounds better that way. Raise your pickup, you got to turn your amp down. You know, so there is that argument there. What is better? Where's your pickup supposed to be? Well, some guys like them low. Some guys like them high. Okay. Let's throw these strings on here. And then after we get the strings on, maybe we can mess with that micro tilt a little bit. There's my front door. Strings on this one, 10 through 46, D'Addario. Bright tone, round wound, regular light gauge. Yeah, I did what I can do. Basic restring on that one. Worked on the frets a little bit. It needs a fret job. I'm gonna let my customer know. And there it is. I did what I can do, but again, it's a 70s Strat. Look at that bullet truss rod in there. When you see the old bullet like that, right? And the serial number would start with an S. You know, that's from the 70s. The 3-bolt neck plate gives it away. 1970s. He's got a little something right here. The last gig he played, he spilled something on here. This is a musician that plays out a lot. Has a cool band together. Throw a little bit of this in there. There it is, guys. Look how pretty the body looks underneath there. What wood is that? Alder? Okay, there you guys have it. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next video. Go buy a guitar.